of this room is the new future of e-commerce, top trends to follow in 2021. Before I will start the content part of my presentation and we will talk about each trend step by step, I would like to start with a short intro of myself, because I guess you see me for the first time and probably also see our first company for the first time. My name is Kateryna Belova and I am VP of Digital Transformation at Computools. Computools, it's a full service software company that designs solutions to help companies meet the needs of tomorrow. So we are full cycle web and mobile development company from Ukraine. And our clients represent a wide range of industries like retail, finance, healthcare, consumer services, and more. The e-commerce industry is always changing, and this year has been no different. More than ever, merchants are creating and improving their e-commerce businesses to meet customers where they are. And while it may seem like everything in e-commerce is evolving, we just narrowed it down to the biggest trends that will affect the business in the coming months and even years. Let's talk about 14 e-commerce trends to follow in 2021 to be on the top. And we will start with augmented reality. AR enhance the reality of online shopping. Augmented reality has been a complete game changer for e-commerce. With this type of technology, shoppers can truly see the item where they're shopping for, which helps them to make a right buying decision. And AR really changed the shopping experience in specific industries, such as, for example, fashion and home decor, because the customer can get a better feel for the item without seeing it in person. For example, in 2021, Gartner predicted that about 100 million consumers will shop using AR by 2021. So it will be very interesting to see how that shakes this year. Trend number 2 is about growing volume of voice search. Not only do more people own smart speakers, but they also rely on voice assistants to complete daily tasks. And Loop Ventures forecast that about 75% of USA households will own a smart speaker by 2025. As more homes adopt smart speakers, more consumers will utilize voice search to shop online, order foods, and organize their lives. The rise of voice search creates an opportunity for e-commerce businesses in terms of keywords and content. Another reason why voice commerce is in the rise is growing accuracy and convenience of the technology. For example, both Google and Amazon are pushing regional languages in their virtual assistant devices to help customers shop more conveniently. Therefore, it's also essential to optimize your online store for voice search, and are also prepared, let's say, a few ways for you to share how you can prepare your e-commerce site for voice queries. First of all, you have to optimize your content to increase your chances of appearing in voice searches. Second of all, you have to add a new skill on Alexa and Google Voice Assistant devices. Step number 3, offer voice-based navigation on your website and mobile app. And last but not least, ensure your products can be purchased with a simple flow using voice command. Trend number 3 I'd like to speak about is AI. Artificial intelligence helps shops learn about shoppers. Well, basically, artificial intelligence and machine learning make it possible for customer to have automated, personalized shopping experience. AI is continuously collecting data on how customer shops, when they buy purchases, and what they're looking for in a product or a service, for example. It's a piece of technology that really can be replicated in store. How you can advantage using this technology? First of all, you can improve efficiency and reduce costs. Big data and machine learning are like partners in crime to AI. This trio has helped countless businesses automate tasks with which wouldn't otherwise been impossible doing manually. So, for example, how do you think Amazon makes to manage the changes products prices by about 2.5 million times a day? It would haven't been manually impossible for them to go through such a wasteful data and then come up with a modified pricing of products wherever necessary. And what can you also do is create smarter strategies with predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is just one of the ways how AI can turn out to be a fruitful technology for your e-commerce. Some of its other branches are behavioral analytics, automation, inventory management, and image recognition. It is because of wide range of applications using it that AI revenue is expected to reach about $36 billion worldwide by 2021. So the sums are just incredible. The next trend is just closely connected with the AI. And it's on-site personalization. Use the AI insights to create individualized experiences. Buyers of all sorts, including B2B and B2C, are looking for personalized custom shopping experiences online. The data collected from AI is what makes it possible for a buyer to get just personalized product recommendations and detailed customer service. Implementing personalized experiences on site or in marketing efforts has been shown to have a strong effect on revenue, with one study finding that about 25 revenue lift for retailers scaling advanced personalization capabilities. According to Gartner, AI-powered personalization becoming increasingly relevant in 2021. Yeah, and here you can also see some percentages to benefits of personalization. The next trend is chatbots improve shopping experiences. Well, chatbots interact with online shopper much like an in-store sales assistants will do. Today's shoppers want just to be able to find and buy a product in a few clicks, and if they can't, they get frustrated. This is where a chatbot can step in and save the sale. For example, experts predict that about 80% of businesses will be using chatbots in 2021. They are all the range today for customer support. However, personally, I think there will drastically change the way people shop online. That will become one of the most important marketing tools. For example, in the retail space, self-checkout kiosks will probably become in norm, and in-store marketing will just increase. Trend number 6, mobile shopping is still on the move. So mobile shopping allows customers to make purchases from everywhere, which is vital in today's world. So I guess everyone is buying and selling something via the phone nowadays. And but yeah, however, if your e-commerce site isn't responsible on mobile or through web apps, you will missing out big opportunities. Shoppers who are mobile users want to added convenience plus the ability to pay digitally. Statista, for example, estimated that by the end of this year, 2021, about 73-75% of e-commerce sales will take place on the mobile device. So if you do not take care of mobile responsibility, please do. Next trend, trend number 7, is about payments. Give more ways to pay. Customers have individual needs when it comes to the payment methods, but they might cancel a potential sale if, for example, they can't pay how they want on e-commerce website. And by offering a wide variety of ways to pay, it's a good way to increase conversion rates on mobile devices. Plus, if customers can save their payment information on your site, they will be able to check out even faster next time they make a purchase. How to advantage in this situation? Well, first of all, you can reduce cart abandonment with more payment methods. Credit cards were synonyms with online payment for a long time. However, the emergence of payment models like a wallet or a bank transfer or prepaid cards, cash on delivery, and other alike completed e-commerce platforms to integrate these methods with their platform. And as if this wasn't enough, let's say cryptocurrency was quick to gain popularity among internet drillers. With over 50 shoppers exiting an app if they don't find their preferred payment method. How you can advantage on the other hand. So more payment methods lead to improved customer expertise. If an e-commerce business wants to reach the top of the food chain, then it can't ignore any of the available payment methods. It can quickly turn out to be a mammoth of task to handle, since there are about 140 online payment methods available on e-commerce platforms. So you can just imagine how many opportunities you can offer. The more payment options you provide, the easier it is for the customer to buy your product, and what means to earn more income and to grow your business. Let's move forward to slide trend number 8. Customers respond to video. So it's not a secret that the importance of video can be underestimated. So videos can help you explain and showcase your products better than images even can. And a video provides to be proved to be a great way to engage customer in 2021, and it's not going away anytime soon. Creating videos for your website is a great way to instantly grab and engage your customer and inform them about your product or a service. And here I also prepared 6 clever ways to use videos in your e-commerce, just as an example. It could be a tutorial. You can show how to use your product. You can tell a story that evokes emotion. You can create an entertaining video. You can also do a message from the CEO to just build trustful relationships. You can invite an influencer that will be suitable for your niche and do an influencer endorsement. Or you can also show people using or getting results from the product to make sure your product is good, and to show also pros of using your maybe service or product, whatever you are selling. I see the use of podcasting and short video content to augment the opportunity for buyers to learn about how an e-commerce brand's products and service provider provide the solution to the opportunity, challenge, or problem a buyer is looking into. To answer. With these 2 forms of content development comes the technology to just micro-track and viewer engagement. And yeah, you can also see how grow the conversion if you use video. Trend number 8 is sustainability is becoming more important. Well, consumers and businesses alike are becoming more aware of the environment. Because of this, customers are being more conscious about where they shop and the impact it has on the environment and related effects. One survey found out that about 53% of respondents would pay 15 cents for sustainable packing, 75 wanted to see less packaging, and 50 wanted more sustainability in the fashion industry. Many businesses are facing ways to be more eco-friendly by going paperless when possible, using biodegradable packaging and using recyclable supplies, for example. So yeah, I mixed up the slides. So this should be about the sustainability. Sorry, I missed this. So yeah, let's get back to this one about subscriptions. There are subscriptions of all sorts these days, and their convenience is attractive for customers. For companies, subscription services create a way to plan for inventory and sales that are already locked in. And for example, David Zimmerman, his director of e-commerce solution at Consume, he predicts that more companies will offer subscription services or monthly payment options for larger purchases in 2021. Yeah, so we talked about sustainability already. Let's move to the next one. Brands will continue to adopt dynamic pricing. So dynamic pricing allows e-commerce retailers to stay competitive, which is very important, and attract more customers. Even if you sell the best product in the world, and if you do not price it correctly, you won't just generate enough sales. Yeah, you have to make sure to choose the right price for your product by right, just, I mean, the amount at which you have the best chance of selling your product while making the maximum possible profits. Just use dynamic pricing software to determine the best prices for your products. There are a lot of tools that will assist you in real time to choose the best one. Let's move forward. Yes, I would also like to talk about the influencers. And the trend sounds like influencers will become brand partners. Most e-commerce brands have tapped into influencers over the years to leverage their waste audience. And according to the Influencers Marketing Hub, the influencer marketing industry was expected to reach about $9.7 billion in 2021, which is just great. And yeah, you may ask me, why is influencer marketing such a major boon for e-commerce brands? And the answer is just because many e-commerce brands have a content problem. In that they are unable to create enough content at sales to just support their marketing efforts. In 2021, the trend we will see is brand just looking to the influencers as content creators to support the content creation process in lieu of content agency. So we also see that brands add just paid media spend to this content so that they can control the reach of audience. How to advantage and how to attract an influencer. Just make a list of local or micro influencers that share your brand value and just invite them. Build relationship with them by helping them to grow. Give them the freedom to create what they want, because you know they know the audience better than you. So just give a freedom. And the pro tip: just take advantage of new features on social media platforms, since there are algorithms rewards that adoption the adoption of these new features. For example, Reels on Instagram get more organic reach than regular posts on stories. So every time there is a new feature, and you have to be just, on the wave with all the trends. Yes, let's move forward. And here we have social commerce is critical to an omni-channel experience. Get more traffic by harnessing social media. There are about 3.5 or even 4 billion social media users in the world, and social commerce lets you tap into this massive pool of potential customers. No matter how good an e-commerce website you create, it would hardly even beat the traffic volume your social media website enjoy. You can try redirecting some of this juice to your website or sell the product on the social platforms. In this case, leveraging social media platforms should be a significant part of your e-commerce strategy. So about 87% of the shoppers say that social media sites help them with the buying decision. So it's just, it's not just really so, they do not have, they just give advices and follow them to add the product to a basket, add the credit card, and there, that's it. Yeah, how to advantage in this situation, and how to increase your sale. Utilize positive reviews to get more sales. So a positive review on these sites can help elevate the product's price by 9.5%, whereas conversion rate go up to 133 for mobile shoppers reading reviews on social websites. So positive reviews really helps in each niche, in each business, as well in software, in e-commerce, or in, I don't know, fashion industry, for example. Also expand your store to social channels. Another reason for social commerce to be an e-commerce trend is its ability to improve the omni-channel shopping experience. Customers can now buy products just directly from social websites, and that's too with a few clicks. In fact, about 30% of customers say they would prefer just buying products in this way. And the last trend is better UI UX leads to more customer retention. Retain more customers with better UI UX. As you know, first impressions are lasting, and about 94% of them are design related. It's funny how the technologies and platforms we just discussed in the previous sections don't even come into the picture if the website is poorly designed. So you just will open and close it, and that's it. It should not take a burning trend for you to realize that success has a customer-centric approach, and it's hard. And companies like Airbnb, Google, Uber, Apple, etc., owe a lot of their priority to user-centric designs and strategies. So they really take care of look and feel. UI and UX, they have has own one of the best ROIs. So Amazon, for example, they invested 100 times more on customer experience compared to advertising, for example. They made such visitors, they made sure visitors don't get lost during the jungle of products catalogs and quickly find what they need. So the personalized suggestions sweeten the deal even further. And better designs lead to improve conversion rates as well, making visitors just stay longer on the website and having them keep returning on the site in an ability everyone wants to protest these days. The continuously just shrinking attention spans make in an even more available virtue. Research, for example, by Forrester suggests frictionless UX design can increase conversion rates by 400%, which is just, I don't know, incredible. Stats like this are going to motivate businesses to invest more in e-commerce oriented UI UX. If you haven't been focusing on a better UI UX already, this is the perfect time to invest in human-centered design. Yeah, here I have the summary of trends, and I will just go through this. AR enhanced the reality of online shopping. This is trend number 1. 2, there will be a growing volume of voice search. 3, AI helps shops learn about shoppers. 4, on-site personalization use the AI insights to create individual experiences. 5, chatbots improve the shopping experiences. 6, mobile shopping is still on the move. 7, more ways to pay. 8, customers respond to video. 9, subscriptions keep customer coming back. 10, sustainability is becoming more important. 11, brands will continue to adopt dynamic pricing. 12, influencers will become brand partners. 13, social commerce is critical to an omni-channel experiences. And last but not least, better UI UX leads to more customer retention. So that's it for today for our room. Here you can find out the link to our website and our email. If you will have just some questions just after our meeting, here is my personal email and my phone number. You can add me on WhatsApp, for example, and also just drop me a message on LinkedIn. Here is the QR code you can scan to add me to your connections. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. So Alex, I think you can stop the recording and we will proceed with questions if there are any.
All right. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm pleased to welcome Oleg. He's a digital solutions manager in the Dach region. Today, he will be sharing with us Automotive Trends 2021 and supply chain, as well as logistic solutions. In case if you will have any questions, you could ask Oleg after his presentation, or you can simply post your questions here in the chat. I will note them down and then I will let Oleg know about your questions. With that, I will ask you to give your full attention to Oleg. So Oleg, please, you can start.
Thank you, Artem, for your introduction. And hello, everyone. It is nice to meet you, and I would like to discuss with you today two very interesting topics: Automotive Trends 2021 and logistics and supply chain solutions. So let me take a moment to introduce myself and our company. I am head of digital solutions in the Dach region at Computools. Computools is a full-service software company that designs solutions to help companies meet their digital needs. Also, Computools shapes the future with products, services, and solutions that businesses need to unlock tomorrow. We are a worldwide company that generates world-changing ideas, and our clients represent a wide range of industries like automotive, fintech, e-commerce, healthcare, retail, logistics, maritime, and education sphere. What we do? We do consulting, design, engineering, operating, and optimization. In short, Computools is your partner for all IT questions. So, as our topics are very wide and our time is limited, so let's start. From the first topic, 5 main automotive trends 2021. The near-term future of the automotive industry will bring improvements in making money from connectivity for automakers and consumers, as well as advancements for autonomy and mobility. The automotive industry is exposed to continuous change. Nowadays, trends like autonomous driving, connectivity, shared mobility, and powertrain electrification are of particular importance. This scenario requires manufacturers to revise their supply chain in order to lead these changes. Supply chain planning technology projects are often over budget and the software tools are underused. Every company in the automotive industry had to take dramatic actions in the face of the COVID pandemic. So on our webinar, we demonstrate how technologies implemented now will change our future. Let's feel together the pulse of automotive technology. So, first trend, automotive trend 2021, onboard experience is being redefined. Several players have announced innovation in this area, going from Daimler's Hyperscreen or the Cadillac Lyrics orchestrated user experience to several other announcements. The sector is bound to redefine onboard experience in a more holistic way. This will happen not only through bigger screens, but also through a multi-sensory approach supported by artificial intelligence. This trend also anticipates autonomous drive, where drivers will be free to perform other tasks while en route. Second one, Tier 1s leveraging the software-defined car. A Tier 1 network, if you know, it is an internet protocol network that can reach every other network on the internet solely via settlement-free interconnection. Tier 1 networks can exchange traffic with other Tier 1 networks without paying any fees for the exchange of traffic in either direction. In a moment when main original equipment manufacturers are actively developing their own software-defined vehicle architecture, several Tier 1 suppliers like Bosch, Continental, and so-named CF Group and or Electrobit start offering solutions for a server-driven vehicle architecture. The question is, however, on whether this new area will be mainly owned by main tech suppliers, vendors, or by original equipment manufacturers eager to bring more software, hardware development in-house. Nevertheless, the redefinition of the vehicle architecture will work as a powerful enabler not only for onboard experience, but also in terms of autonomous drive and connected car functionalities. Third trend, it is electric vehicles. It is definitely one of the main automotive topics. And electric cars are the future. And each year we have seen automakers add more electric vehicles to their lineup. Everyone is working on electric vehicles, from well-established existing manufacturers to new names such as Byton, Lordstone, and Rivian. Due to the tremendous frenzy around electric vehicles, many companies made their reveals ahead of Consumer Electronics Show this year. It is the most influential tech event in the world, the proving ground for breakthrough technologies and global innovators. This is where the world's biggest brands do business and meet new partners, and the sharpest innovators hit the stage. Trend number 4, it is autonomous vehicles, or so-named autonomous driving. Autonomous vehicles are also one of the major themes, but less driven by major statements on time to market, as opposed to previous years. Despite that, Intel Mobileye believes a consumer-level force application will be launched by 2025. Companies like Caterpillar, John Deere, and IBM have shown autonomous drive is already delivering strong profitability and safety in several off-road applications and even at sea. The UK government, for example, had said that self-driving vehicles could be allowed on UK roads by the end of this year. The Department for Transport said automated lane keeping systems, so-named ALKS, ALKS, would be the first type of hands-free driving legalized. Also, Tesla so-called autopilot uses lane technology similar to ALKS. It is considered level 2 on the 5 defined levels of self-driving cars. The next step, I think we will see, it will be level 3, would not need the driver's attention at all times, and in theory, the driver could do other things such as check email or even watch a movie until the car prompts them to take over again. This would include also this technology, ALKS. However, there have been several incidents involving this technology when drivers did not pay enough attention to the road. And trend number 5. Connected cars are coming to fruition. A connected car is a car that can communicate bidirectionally with other systems outside of the car. This allows the car to share internet access and data with other devices, both inside and outside the vehicle. The connected car is currently one of the main growth areas in the industry, which means several of the previously identified trends in this space are now materializing in terms of vendor and vendor offer, in terms of manufacturers and vendor offer. Sensors in cars will collect data about the vehicles, about other vehicles, cyclists, pedestrians, and road conditions. The cars will be Wi-Fi hotspots, creating an ever-moving network from where data can easily be shared with the city authorities. City planners will use it in numerous ways. They can look at patterns to assess journey items, bottlenecks, fuel and charging station availability, popular destination, and more. So what we serve, so our company serve our clients such as car manufacturers, tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers, hardware platform vendors, and future mobility providers. What we do? What we do in this industry and for our clients. It is our digital services. For example, management and booking mobile applications help service owners to manage orders, automate business processes, optimize staff's efficiency, increases customer loyalty, and provides detailed analytics on data. Application for booking services online connect to customer-specific service and its provider. It allows the customer to find available items, dates, and book it online and even leave feedback. Another one, our service, it is car service apps. It is a digital solution would display data for driver about a vehicle road, level of fuel, wheel swap level, speeding reports, failure prevent reports, and driving journal, etc. Another kind of service, repair management solutions, make virtual vehicle diagnostics, repair maintenance, information, possibility to contact the service center. And Automotive parts e-commerce platform to make purchases in official stores, which contains shipment data. Another, so it is shortly about automotive industry and trends, 5 most influent trends at this time for this industry. Another my second other also very important and very connected with automotive industry field, it is supply and logistic technology in this sphere. Emerging and maturing supply chain and logistics technology is a major source of competitive advantage. The COVID-19 pandemic forces supply chains to change rapidly, and digitalization enables this transformation. Supply chain leaders also must use new technologies to adapt to the ever-changing environment in which they are operating. Digital remains a strategic imperative for supply chain organizations. If we're talking about, for example, Gartner 2021 predictions, the next 3 to 5 years will usher in not only an increase in the adoption of digital supply chain technologies, but also new, more IT-focused roles the supply chain leaders must integrate. Heads of supply chain technology must take note of these Gartner 2021 predictions to advance digital maturity and business performance. Of course, the supply chain logistics, it is balance between cost and customer experience. Top 2 business drivers for digital supply chain logistics strategy, it is from one side to reduce costs, and from another side improve customer experience. How software could help logistic field in their work and operating business in this sphere? Logistics software helps establish, firstly, establish the tracking process. It is make the delivery process visible for all parties. Supply chain management software development is required to piece together all the specifications. The next point, integrate fragmented systems. Analyze data more efficiently by integrating fragmented solutions into one system. With the help of custom logistics software development, you can build a solution that captures multiple data sources. Next point, it is this intermediate shipping. Save time, cut costs, and ensure a transparent shipping process by disintermediating your delivery process with the help of the blockchain and distributed ledgers. Next, technologies like Internet of Things, status tracking, supply chain management, and UI and UX services allow authorized participants of the delivery process, from shipping and courier companies to drivers responsible for the last mile delivery, and then end customers, to globally track their freight in real time. Outsource transportation software development services to connect multiple parties, utilize Internet of Things devices, and integrate a variety of services and interfaces into one solution. Such technologies like data visualization, integration of third-party solutions, alerts and reminders, make decisions powered by complete data. So you could efficiently manage the data flows from various sources, set reminders and alerts to be notified when anything arises, and enhance the number of simultaneous transactions that your logistic software solution can process. Of course, another big part of logistic field, it is like another big direction in logistic field is warehousing optimization based on predictions. Integrate artificial intelligence based predictions on top of big data into warehouse management system software to optimize stocking. And develop a better understanding of your customers to meet their demands and provide the required suppliers on time. Benefit from real-time reports to understand the current status of any stock keeping unit at any terminal or warehouse. Trace origins, expiration dates, and other characteristics to meet customer expectations. So it is maybe main directions in warehousing optimization. It is optimized warehousing, big data and artificial intelligence-based predictions, real-time reports, Internet of Things, warehouse management system software, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain technology. So it is briefly about these two topics, big topics, and I have briefly tried to convey all the key points in these two huge areas due to time constraints. I could add, if you are looking for custom software for logistics services, Computools and our company, our engineers, could be the perfect option for you. Our engineers are highly experienced and we collaborate on projects of various difficulty. We are ready to partner with any kind of businesses like small, medium enterprises or startups that require custom logistical software development based on cutting-edge technologies. And as I mentioned already, one of our main areas of focus is software development for the logistics industry using machine learning and blockchain. So if you have questions, you could ask us and we will try to answer all of your questions.
Yeah, I have one question, Oleg, if you don't mind. Well, first of all, I wanted to say, like, on behalf of everyone today, say thank you to you for taking time and speak to us today on the very important topic about automotive trends, supply chain and logistic solutions. So there's a couple of questions I'm wondering about. Like the first one is if you can give us some examples or perhaps cases of how like AI or machine learning technology is used in the logistic.
Yes, of course. Okay. So artificial intelligence and machine learning are much more effective than traditional methods of demand prediction, of course. And to reduce the costs of shipping and make the shipping process itself faster, you can use artificial intelligence to decide on the best, for example, to decide on the best roads. This is especially important in case you are a large e-commerce company with a lot of customers. And artificial intelligence is what you need to analyze the existing routing, do the track route optimization. And of course, one of our case when we use such technology. It was also artificial intelligence and machine learning. And these technologies are able to monitor and predict traffic and other factors that can somehow influence your shipping time. So it is all that we have done in this area using artificial intelligence and machine learning.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And last question from me. I would say, because there is a trend that is coming out nowadays about electric cars. And I believe that like most of us would want to know like when those electric cars become affordable for most citizens. When can we expect the reduction of the price?
It's a very good question, and I think it nowadays everybody wants to know how it will work and when it will work. The main factor that will decrease the price of electric vehicles and electric cars is becoming popular due to the lack of conventional fuel, and this needs years to occur. I think it would still take at least 3, maybe 4, minimum 4 years. Talking about now, the main element in the electric vehicle that is increasing the total cost of the system is the storage and the battery. Accordingly, searching for other storage elements that are more efficient and less costly may decrease the total cost of the car. On the other hand, I think the move toward electric vehicles will need a boost and support from governments, because citizens, even if they are well aware about the environment issues, will struggle with the cost issue of such car.
All right, thank you so much. That was a perfect answer for all of my questions. So I guess if nobody, thank you, Oleg, for answering. So I guess if there is no other questions, we are ready to stop today's presentation. And I would like to say thank you to all who attend the presentation today, and personally say thank you to Oleg. And just a reminder to everyone, the webinar is not finishing in this room. There will be a networking session after all in the main room. So in this network session, you can ask any questions that you might have that might come up to you, and the speakers will be glad to answer. Oleg will be there as well. So we will be waiting for you in the network session. Thank you so much for attending today.
Hi everyone again. Welcome in our AI room. Let me introduce myself. So my name is Anastasia. I'm the Business Development Manager at Computools, and today I am the host at this room. Thanks for choosing exactly this stream. So the small plan of this meeting. First of all, our speaker today, Dmitry, will share his report. If you have any questions during his speech, please drop your lines in the chat. And after the report, I will read them, the most interesting, or all of them, if you do not have so much. And Dmitry will answer. So yeah, during the speech or maybe after it, anytime, please drop your questions or maybe queries that you have even before this meeting. And also, I have one question to you. So while we are waiting for some others, why did you choose exactly this stream? So I know that we have automotive stream, we have e-commerce one, but I see you here, guys. So maybe you can share your expectations from this meeting and maybe some queries that you have and want to find questions too. That will be really interesting to get to know better. So don't be shy. And I think we can start already. So today with us is our digital transformation advisor, Dmytro Shevtsov, who will tell you about artificial intelligence and machine learning trends in 2021. So Dmitry, please start.
Thanks for the introduction. I hope you guys can hear me well. Thanks for coming. Glad to see you here. Why are we all here? First of all, let me quickly introduce myself. I am a digital transformation advisor. For you guys, this means that I'm working with business owners, working with CEOs, working with managers, startups, and I consult guys and help them find proper digital solutions for digitalization of the business and daily activities, basically, and having the right teams. I have technical background. I've been a tech support agent for 5 years for a worldwide web hosting company. I'm a business owner, and I'm a pretty big AI enthusiast, even though I'm not a coding engineer myself. Still, I am really, really huge enthusiast of AI and try my best to make it implemented as widely as possible. Why are we here? Our main idea today is to shift to knowing how to use the trends of 2021 today. Not in 5 years, not in 20 years. When I was asked by my friends at Computools to have a speech at this event, I thought, what can I give the guys who are most probably owners of their own AI companies or already have some interesting solutions that can help their businesses in this time of turmoil? And I thought it shouldn't be just technical solution. It shouldn't be just technical trend. It should be something that you can utilize for your business right now. This is why we're here. This is why I'm considering today strategic scenario planning, composable business. And this is not something I'm going to give you in the next minute. But if you wait to the end of this presentation, you're going to get what I mean. If you're ready, we're starting. And before we start, before the first trend that I'm going to show you, why even caring about trends? What is so important about them that we're taking care? While every single person may have their own vision and needs, there are some common ideas. For example, understanding the trends helps strategic scenario planning. Executives saw last year and the previous year that static planning is not as relevant as it used to be, and it doesn't provide such an agility to make the business resilient and sustainable in these times of turmoil. This year has not only brought us multiple reasons for strategic scenario planning, but also adoption of composable business. And what all of this means and how it may help your business today, I'm gonna issue this today. Strategic technology trends do not really operate independently of each other, but rather build on top of each other and reinforce each other. Combinatorial innovation is an overarching theme of these trends, and together they enable, I would say, organizational plasticity that will help guide the organization in the next 5 and 10 years. And it's important to understand that solutions we have these days in artificial intelligence and machine learning, they are not finalized. They are rather enabling technologies, which allow developing subsequent solutions for different industries. And as a result, it's kind of wrong to consider them as a key, but rather a base for a new key. If you've ever had a day talking to chatbot on some support line for some company. You may know how annoying it is, and which is an obvious signal that overall imperfection and need for improvement in this niche persists. And here are some of the AI and ML trends for 2021 based on the path that the industry went through so far. Trending innovations of 2020, an experience I've had with my clients applying AI innovations. Since the AI and ML are both heavily into automation, we might be interested in the future of it. Based on the research of Gartner, the world is moving towards what is called hyper-automation, which is basically a combination of automation methods that together bring up a completely new direction for business and for business automation. It's kind of a mixture between robotic process automation and artificial intelligence and Internet of Things or IoT. According to Gartner, 80% of enterprise IoT projects will include AI in some form by the year 2022. And this is important, and this is something I would like to just slow down a bit, because it's not only that we're going to shift to IoT shortly, not only like that. Just imagine this, 80% of IoT solutions by enterprises will in some shape or form utilize artificial intelligence. Can you imagine the level of control? And this shows how two advanced technologies can work so well together. And you can call it IoT, the digital nervous system, and AI, its brain that makes informed decisions. AI can gather insights quickly from data, which makes IoT systems smarter. I hope this gives a little insight to how this will work. So we coming this way to the very, very first trend that I would like to show you, and it's called augmented intelligence. By 2023, Gartner predicts around 40% of infrastructure and operation teams in large enterprises that will adopt AI and augmented automation for increased productivity. And I'm not only talking about changing the roles of people working there, it's shift to working with AI specialists. This is how this trend may be utilized for businesses now. This is very important because you may benefit from using it for yourself. All right, so shift to working with AI specialists who are experienced with working with businesses of certain size and certain industries. There is not much headroom for mistakes. Building innovative AI and ML solution requires much time. It's a very thoughtful process. It requires much skills. And solution architects literally build new solutions from scratch sometimes. This influences an hourly rate, of course, and the total budget for the project as well. Thus, improvising and experimenting with client budget is not simply the case here, right? As a business owner, you would not like to invest in something that you not yet know what you're going to get in the end. And the pros of working with this shift to the AI specialists who are experienced in working with businesses of the same size as you and the same industry as you is that you don't need to hire separate data scientists, and business-related developers can use pre-trained auto ML solutions. We're going to get closer to this a little further. And working with those who already dealt with your business. For example, what kind of service you can expect from them? BI developers are already working with your business. What's BI? I'm absolutely sure that most of you guys know what I'm talking about, but just to make sure that we all are on the same page here, I'm gonna explain some simple things, so don't judge me for that, all right? So BI, what it is? Business intelligence, which actually helps not only to visualize business KPIs, but also make smarter decisions based on large amounts of data. And of course, right away, you can hear where you can implement an AI. But let's back off a little bit. Speaking of business intelligence, you would rather work with those who already know which KPIs really influence your business and which ones are not. So your specialists won't simply process data for the sake of processing. They totally comply with business needs. This is why this trend was placed by me on the first position, because I believe this shift to working with specialists who are already experienced in your size and industry will for sure influence the results. Second trend is acceleration of AI implementation. Let's have a look at the picture. I've just wanted to show a simple cycle of development of a very, very simple solution for a company. It doesn't matter what size your company is, it doesn't matter what industry you have here. This is a simple concept where you first make a proof of concept. This is something startups usually do to see if the idea will work, to see if it will really deliver what you expect it to. So then it goes to the prototype, which simulates a full system to actually see how what experience will be received by the user. And then from the prototype, you go to the pilot version, which will give you the first feedback from users, which will give you first understanding of stability, of scalability, so that this is where this is from what you can go to the larger version. And I'm sorry, too fast. Should not do this. All right, acceleration of AI implementation. In the past, we saw how IT startups were bombarding the market with ideas, building proofs of concept of their applications. Of course, it took time to build. It took time to build, to test, to implement in real life. And after a huge transition from offline to online, which happened within 2020 and still happens within 2021, after surviving some huge disasters, such as recent Texas disaster, there is simply not that much time to go from proof of concept to the working app. The world is simply not ready to wait that much anymore. Some of the innovations are already happening on the run. The time period of testing and implementation has shortened drastically. In the past, we didn't have enough data to do it fast. It's okay. It was just a step in our evolving, let's say. Nowadays, we are covered with sensors. We are covered with meters. We give enough information for stream processing, which itself becomes another building block for AI implementation and acceleration. And one thing that I'm going to give you in the end of this presentation, which to me becomes one of the most important trends this year, and I believe next 10 years. So basically speaking, we're going to have faster processing and faster decisions here. Trend number 3 is pre-trained models become built-in bricks for new solutions. And I want you to really hear me out here, because of course, some of you are technical specialists already, and some of you even may know more than I do in this specific niche. It's okay. I understand that you guys could even give me an advice on how to talk about this. But for those of you who are not familiar with this much, models are, let's say, applications in machine learning that accept some input and give you the output. Pre-trained models are a really good tool for those who want to get a solution faster and get acceptable results, get the results that can be predicted. If in the past we look at the machine learning models as the key solutions to some of our business problems, now, these days, we're about to utilize them as building blocks for the next generation of IT solutions in automation. This includes pre-trained models, AutoML solutions, no-code solutions, cloud-based AI solutions. Pre-trained models are released by the large game players such as OpenAI or Google, and sometimes independent labs have a huge impact on the development of new innovative solutions as a core part of the idea. For example, what was made as an ML model for Google search called BERT is now used for processing text, textual documents. For example, building large storage solutions for documents where the documents are stored and can be searched for not simply by using the keywords, which doesn't give clear results, by using the context. If you check out and try 2 different search requests on Google, you will find that if you use the same words in different positions, you're getting different results. And it's not like in the past. Google didn't have this before, but this is what came with BERT model. This is what happened by applying BERT model here. And this is a very powerful tool. Pre-trained models such as GPT-2 or 3 by OpenAI are used for summarization and generation of textual context, which is now getting adopted by, for example, tourism industry, since there is a need to generate more and more textual content for the articles or brochures where you already have a ton. You can feed the models with the existing content and generate new one. Of course, the quality of output is still not the one you'd get from your content writer. Still, it does work. And it has its proof in the real industry on the everyday basis. SaaS is another way to not only sell your machine learning or AI product faster and easier, but also to get the service you need based on the subscription. For example, GPT-3 is paid based on the amount of processing, and it has to do. Or if you are into 3D, for example, and you need to render a huge project for 3D, let's say a cartoon or next Marvel movie, you'd need a big amount of resources to do that. And project rendering really requires a ton of resources on a constant basis. It's not really a fast process. So this is where SaaS comes into play. In the role of render farms, you remotely connect to an external machine which already have pre-installed software and has enough resources. You connect it, you synchronize your project with it, and you run the project there. And you can simply check the status by using your phone app and control it. At the same time, monitoring it from your mobile while having a walk. Frameworks. We are into innovations, right? And why recording someone else's code before, if he has already done it before us? So the world is actually actively using frameworks to expand on existing tasks while not reinventing the wheel, saving the time, energy, and especially focus, which is important for developers, and especially for those who keep the globe spinning. Open source is another great option for those who develop their own innovations. Let me explain. This is where you can welcome volunteers, for example, who can do, in terms of machine learning, they can, for example, do engineering tasks. For example, one of the guys I've recently had a conversation with has a startup working on a model for YouTube, which has a role to take audio content, extract textual data from it. But this is not its only task. It also has a task to define who exactly from which corner of the screen talks. And this is very important. This is absolutely next step in converting YouTube. And this task is not simple. But this is not a next step in natural language processing, and this will help a lot. Since their investments do not really cover large team, they're making this project an open source so that they can get more engineers working on it and commit to their updates to the GitHub. All their facades simplifies access to AI and ML for those who do not have their own teams. And this is why this trend is important for businesses, because you don't even need to have your own team. You just can consult with a digital transformation advisor like me or business development manager and find out what options are available for your company in terms of pre-programmed solutions right now. So you don't have to develop things from scratch. You can get whatever was already developed by this moment, take pre-trained models and utilize them right now. Trend number 4 is adoption of white box models. White box models are the type of models which you can look and clearly explain their behavior, how they produce predictions, and what their influencing variables are. There are 2 key elements that make model white box. Its features have to be understandable, observable. It's really important. And the process itself has to be transparent. This is not simply an idea that helps to reveal internal processes, but rather a logical step to the new era of email. Why does this shift happen from the black box models to the white box? Just to make sure we're on the same page here, let me clarify. I already explained what model means for machine learning. And basically, all earlier models were black box. Black box means you have no idea what processes happen inside. You simply give it an input data and get an output from it. This is it. You have no idea how exactly it reveals details and what processes are happening inside. This is what makes white box model different from the black box. And models are widely used for working with large amounts of data, and this is one of the main key points to understanding whether your project or your business really needs the machine learning. If it has large amount of data that cannot be processed by a human being fast, this is where machine learning solution is really a solution for you. For example, loan calculation or car insurance rate. And black box model do their job pretty accurately, and this is a great advantage they have. But they are simply unexplainable for the customer. And you, as a manager, as a representative, you'll have a hard time explaining this. This is why white box model is more preferable for you, even though it's not as accurate. When applying the output of ML model to your business decisions, you might want it to be explainable, right? If, for example, the model is used by your business to translate and make new decisions, for example, you're analyzing the KPIs of sales team, and you want to see how many times they reach to the client, how many times clients reach to you, all the communications, you want to see how many follow-ups were made, you want to see how many items were sold, and all of this is documented. All of this is your data. And you have, for example, 1 year or 5 years of data. And you want to analyze it and make decisions based on that. What should be changed? What shouldn't? This is a pretty huge job for a human, right? And don't forget that we still have human factor here. Humans can make mistakes, simple mistakes, which are not really the case for a machine. And if you're applying machine learning model to your business decisions, you might want it to be explainable and observable so that your decisions are not blind, especially if you have a board of partners to whom you will need to explain your new investments, your new decisions, or even a shift in the business direction. which is why, for some cases, white box models are even more preferable. Fifth trend, AI wider in cybersecurity. As we all know, we are all emitters, all covered with devices that track what we do, where we are, what happens around. AI-powered cybersecurity tools can also gather data from companies' communication networks, transactional systems, digital activity, websites, let's say cookies, right? External public sources, for example, social media, and use AI algorithms for recognizing patterns and identifying the threatening activity, such as finding out suspicious IP addresses and possible data breaches. If you have this large amount of data, you simply cannot process it, as a human. You need a more powerful tool for this. And since the devices take more and more data every day, we get more data on a weekly basis, and we simply cannot let it sit without usage. Why letting it if we can benefit on that? So machine learning models are applied here too. And according to the research by firm IHS Markit, the use of AI in home security systems today is mainly limited to systems integrated with users' video cameras and intruder alarm systems with voice assistant. But they believe that the use of AI will expand to develop smart homes where the system knows the habits and choices of occupants, advancing its ability to identify the intruders. And I know this might sound scary at some point, especially because of the movies we've had for so many years telling us how robots are going to defend us and all that stuff. But please, please don't be afraid. We're not that close to that yet. And especially for those of you who already work with AI, you must know that things are not that scary at all. Trend number 6. Cybersecurity mesh. This is an interesting one because it leads us to one of our two main things of this discussion. I would like to thank you guys for staying here for so long, listening to me, giving you ideas. I'm really finishing it close. So, cybersecurity mesh. Cybersecurity mesh consists in designing and implementing IT security infrastructure that does not focus on building a single perimeter around the devices or nodes of an IT network, but instead it establishes smaller individual perimeters around each device or access points. And this is really important trend for 2021 because based on what we have been having within the last 2 years and what I've been talking about with my partners, it's important to track how people behave at workplace and at home for the security reasons, especially if we're ready to protect this data and store it securely. So what all of this information that I gave you leads to? What are we having in the end? First, Internet of Behavior. You've all heard about Internet of Things, which is great, but 2020 and 2021 are really years of Internet of Behavior. The IOB can not only gather, but combine and process data from so many sources, including commercial customer data, citizen data processed by public sector and government agencies, for example, CCTV cameras and recognition of number plates on the cars, social media, public domain deployments of facial recognition, local tracking, the increasing sophistication of the technology that processes the data and has enabled this trend to grow. Internet of behavior does have ethical and societal implications depending on the goals, of course, because we're not going to get rid of this. And outcomes of individual uses. The same variables that health insurance companies use to track physical activities to reduce minimum premiums could also be used to monitor grocery purchases. Too many healthy items could increase premises. Privacy laws, which vary from region to region, will greatly impact the adoption and scale the Internet of behavior. Tech trends were always a great source of ideas for artists. And we already talked about the movies, high-tech movies from 60s and 70s, those flying cars, aluminum costumes and stuff. Later on, the writers recognized the threat and we've got the whole lot of movies about how robots take over. Be it Terminator, Transformers, whatever. Within the last 10 to 20 years, we've got another line of movies. This time, things get even scarier. Phones take over because IoT era authors decided to give their own idea of how smart homes will control us. And what now? This whole word kicks in, Internet of behavior, because it can not only track what you use when you come home, it can track your health, it can track your behavior and define whether a person who's at your home is a homeowner or a person who came for bed. And all of this leads to composable business idea. Composable business means creating an organization which is made of interchangeable building blocks or bricks. Such modular setup allows business to rearrange and reorient as needed, depending on external or internal factors like shift in customer values or sudden change in supply chain materials. For example, if you own a production or a factory, and you can track the behavior of your employees, in case of pandemic like the one we're facing right now, you would be able to determine whether the sickness is spreading and you really need to get things under control, which are really heavy to control. It's hard. And we all saw that because the sickness was spreading really fast because of the people who didn't recognize it right on time. Or for example, one of the projects that Computools was working on and is working on right now, which allows to monitor agricultural events, which is important because not only recognition is applied here, but behavior monitoring is applied here as well. And this is what turns us from the world of Internet of Things to the world of Internet of Behavior, where we have machines that are closer to humans and that are able to understand us as human beings. Thank you guys for coming in. I've got my presentation finished. You can see the contact details on the screen, just in case you want to have a consultation with me or talk about your favorite topics. So feel free to email me. I think Anastasia has something to say here.
Yeah, thank you, Dmitry, for your report. It was really interesting to hear about these trends, for me too. So I have several questions in my private chat here. Yeah. So you talked about white boxes. Yeah. So do you think that black box models are close to the end of their story?
Absolutely not. This is an important thing to understand. There is no, and especially artificial intelligence and machine learning era help us to realize this. And if you are not an AI specialist, but a business owner or manager, I really ask you to listen closely to this because this is an important thing we discuss in every project. There is no single solution that will work in every case. And you need to have a really good solution architect for your case to define what's going to work and what's not. And black box models have higher priority right now in 2021, just because they are more accurate. While accuracy is not the only thing how models are measured, model success is measured, I'd say. But white box models are great for their thing, as I explained. For example, when you need to be able to explain how the model processes the data, to explain the decision, to explain the outcome to your board of partners or a customer. If that's not the case for you, if you just need the pure data, if you just need to process a huge amount of data, black box model is way, way, way more good solution for you.
Thank you for your answer. And the next question is, how near are we to the day when machines pass a Turing test?
I believe I have this question discussed last week with someone. Well, Turing test used to be a really good thing for machine learning world from the day one, but I'm afraid to tell you it was already passed by machines. And we're all gonna die. While it's still true, we're all gonna die. But speaking about business and about machine learning and about technology, you should realize that world doesn't keep standing in the same spot. It changes, it evolves. I'm sorry if it doesn't something you find pleasurable, but the world is changing. And talking about machine learning progress, you may find that Turing test is not really that good solution for it. But I'm gonna tell you what they use now for machine learning testing. Would you like to hear it? Here's the thing. I don't exactly know how it's called in English, but here's how it goes. You use a complex approach to the question. For example, I'm gonna take something from my head, what I can see. I can see chair. All right, let it be chair. Here is the sentence. There is a chair and a cat wants to nap on it, but it's too big. Question, what is too big? And if machine answers chair, which is basically not correct answer, it's gonna fail. This is how they test them now.
Okay, thanks. I hope it also was clear for our guests. And also Christian asked some question in the chat. What role play machine learning models in the context of smart contracts?
This is a really great question. I think that machine learning models help to first to clarify the data and to extract the data. For smart contracts, it's important to keep things as close to the
Okay. Hello again, everyone. Now we will have a short meeting about discovery phase. I'd like to introduce you Vitaliy Kononenko. He's our Chief Technical Officer. And Oleg, he's our Chief Delivery Officer. They will be talking about discovery phase for the next 20 minutes. So welcome.
Okay, Oleg, can you share screen, please?
Yeah, sure. Hello, guys. Give me a second. I will share my screen and we will start.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining. My name is Vitaliy, and I'm CTO at Computools. And together with Oleg, he is CDO at Computools. So today we're going to speak about the discovery phase and what is it, why is it for, who is participating in this process. So let's start from the simplest one. What is discovery phase? So in general, it's a process where a team gathers information about the projects and formalizes it. So it is needed to do several things. So first of all is define project goals. Every project is built to provide value and help clients to achieve their goals. And at discovery phase, team define those goals and values together with the client for better understanding of the product. The next thing that is need to be done is synchronize vision with client. At this step, the team speaks with the client and gathers project requirements. After this process, they build a documentation based on those requirements and discuss it with client to get final approval. Next thing is to find the best approaches to meet project goals. So the team always searches for the optimal way to reach client's goal. And by optimal, we mean the ratio between speed, flexibility, and costs. So if you think about that, the most optimal way is the cheapest option that will be able to meet clients' needs for the product. And last but not least is to build project blueprint. This is actually quite simple. So if we imagine that we're building a house, we understand that without proper architecture of the building, we're probably going to face multiple risks. We will not be sure about house integrity, if it will stand for a long time, and even if we won't be sure that it will look like we want it to look. And the most important, we will spend much more money to build it correctly, the way we want it to have it in the end. And it's actually the same for the IT products. We need to build proper architecture to have an understanding of project complexity, its cost, and be able to sync vision with the client, and also to exclude many different risks that may occur even by the simplest misunderstanding between the team and client's vision of the product. So why in our position we think that discovery phase is required? So there are many different risks that everyone can face without the discovery phase. So the first thing, the development, sorry. Okay, so sorry. So development team does not understand the client's vision and goals of the project. It may sound a little bit weird, but it's a pretty common case. That's why it is very important to always synchronize vision between client and team, because even the simplest things like a profile page is something that can be viewed different based on everyone's experience. But it's still not as critical as misunderstanding core concepts of the project that may lead to rewriting the whole core from the beginning, spending tons of budget for nothing, and missing all possible deadlines. And in addition, without proper planning, we can face a case of missing hidden risks that may lead to a situation that project cannot be released or done. So for example, if we take fintech industry, if you miss the regulator as the stakeholder, you will not be able to release the product in the future. So it will be ready, it will be built, but you just won't be able to use it because it's illegal. The next thing is that a lot changes from the client side can be done because of the business reasons. So without a detailed strategy, without proper planning, so it's easy to get the risk that you won't be able to finish the product at all. So, and that's why in this case of discovery phase, most moments will be discussed. They will be finalized at planning phase before estimation, and they will be written down in the documentation. So it will be easier to follow the plan and do the project right without any additional costs in the end. Next thing is the weak and not flexible technical solution. So if the team does not plan proper architecture for the project, it may cause a case where it won't be possible to implement features due to the current project architecture, or what is even more common, increased time and budget spent on new features because architecture wasn't built properly for the solution that was intended in the beginning. And last but not least is the lost deadlines and budget limits. If team does not understand what they need to build, they will give pretty inaccurate estimates. And in addition to those estimates, you will miss all of the deadlines, and probably you won't get the proper budgeting that you really want to, so you will even miss that. So who is the core discovery phase team? So in general, it's a business analyst. So it's a person who is going to speak with the client and team directly. It's his responsibility to gather all of the project requirements, all of its goals, and formalize them. And also, business analysts will take time to analyze competitors, perform business research, and will help you with ideas generation. So the next person is architect. Architect is responsible for tech researches, technical consultancy, and estimation of the development part. So basically, this is a person who's going to take into the account all of the business details, all of the business requirements, and try to build proper technical solution for the end product. Another person is the UX designer. It's pretty simple. He performs UX research, does prototypes, and also takes part in the designing, in the estimation of the design part. Next person is project manager. So it's a person who is going to control implementations of all artifacts. It's the person who's going to support business analysts, manage project risks, manage team to meet project deadlines. And lead QA. It's a person who's going to build testing strategy for the project. And also it's a person who's going to speak with architect, with business analyst, test their cases that they build. And if something is wrong, he will just notify the team and all of those cases will be fixed. Okay, so what is the discovery phase plan? Basically, it starts from defining product scope and synchronize vision with the client. It's one of the most important steps of the plan. So, because as I mentioned before, it is very important to synchronize vision between team and the client, and team must have proper vision of the project. At this phase, the most active roles are business analyst and architect. Next step is formalize docs, formalize scope, and develop wireframes. So what happens at this phase? It's very important to formalize project scope, develop ubiquitous language. It's basically a set of terminology that will be understandable for both client and the team. So we can take, for example, word unit. So for different domains, the specific project, it have different meanings. For someone, it can be a staff member, but for someone, it's a single product in the store. Also at this phase, business analyst, UX designer, and architect work together and perform multiple researches to make sure that team can implement project goals. In the end of this phase, QA lead checks their work results and builds test strategies. So next step is the architecture. So at this phase, the architect starts to build proper architecture based on project goals and his research. And it's very important to exclude the necessary optimizations, over engineering, and focus on building a product that will be easy to improve and support. So of course, at this phase, architects takes major parts, but still he has a lot of consultancy with business analyst and UX specialist. And last but not least is the estimation. Here, teams focuses on business requirements for budget and deadlines. And based on those requirements, the team picks best options regarding scope, budget, and deadlines. And at the end of this phase, team provides results that the client can use for his planning. So he can show this plan to investors, or he can plan his own budgeting of how he wants to move forward. Maybe he wants to split the product into his own phases. So like all of it is in his hands. So from my end, that's all what I wanted to discuss. And I'm right now giving a word to Oleg to continue on other important stuff.
Yeah. Let's dive a little bit in deep in each point in discovery phase plan, how we, like the Computools team, prepare this process. So first point, this is formalize stakeholders and their goals. It's really important. For all point in a definition scope, we use two-side verification, how it's work. We have a couple of calls with our clients, maybe not a couple, maybe a lot of calls. We get information, we write this information, we use next approaches. First point, we make stakeholders table. In stakeholders table, we include the all person or group of person, it's called actor, which can work with project or can have some relation with the project. For example, it will be a group of clients. For example, man with this age, woman with that age, as another. If this is something like the marketplace, it will be different set of buyer group and different set of seller group. Next point, we include the team of our client. It can be a couple of separate teams from, for example, investor company and direct client who implement role of product owner and manage the project. Also here, we include the organization structure of client company. If we work with a big company and make, for example, internal products, we include the like independent stakeholder, each department, or even each group in some department. For example, human resource department, financial department, legal department, delivery department, as and as. Also here, we include some government regulator, like Vitaliy said before. In fintech project, this is critical. In healthcare project, this is critical. And even in some standard e-commerce project, for example, we just want to sell something, but if we miss GDPR, it can be a big issue. We write all documentation. We write all stakeholders in table and write their goals, because in our project, we should implement these goals. After that, we split this map into user roles. User roles, this is like the place of stakeholder in our system and their ability. Also, we include the list of requirements, like the non-technical requirements, but to be honest, dependency between technical and non-technical dependency, this is open question, but let's move to non-technical requirements point, like the implementation of GDPR or implementation of some financial regulator policy. So we build user roles and core ability. After that, we provide the information to our client to review what is it, how it's work. User roles and abilities we also provide in a view of structure map. So structure map you can see in this slide with some mock example. Of course, we don't make the full requirements of whole project. We move step by step. Even if we work with big project, we can be in stage of definition of scope for some part of project, but other part of project can be in architecture phase, which is also okay and possible. Also here, we discuss business risks and provide analysis of our competitors and different ability of why the vision to whole project from client side can be changed. Second point, here mostly work our team We not so often invite clients, but of course provide reports each week or maybe a couple of times in the week. We get information what we should to do, what ability of user we should to implement, and we need to split this ability into user story. In previous step, we just take idea from client and make some suggestion based to research and our experience. In this phase, we try to form this idea into the real world. First point, business analyst write the user story. Not as user, for example, I can buy good, but as user, I can log in into the system. After that, as user, I can open catalog. As user in catalog, I can select the item, other and other points. For each story, we develop user journey. This is positive scenario which help our designer write the wireframe. Based on these user stories and journeys, designer can implement wireframes. This is not a ready design, but this is enough detailed prototype which help our team understand what exactly we should to do and explain it to our client. Also, in this phase, we implement QR test strategy. Here, we write how we will test project, what clients will support, what resolution of each client, and the big count of additional technical point. Of course, each type of documentation will be verified by QA. As we cover all user stories in Wireframe, as user journeys are logical and can be implemented other and other points. Like in step of definition of scope, we step by step some part project or even some screen approve it with our client. Next one, this is an architecture. So like I told before, I will repeat it a couple of times. This is a spiral process. So we don't make all step by step. First domain can be in definition of scope, or for example, last domain can be in definition of scope, but first can be in architecture or even estimation phase. What we implement in architecture phase, why we need this phase. In two previous steps, we discuss what solution do we need and how the solution should look like, how the solution should work. In this phase, we discuss how we can build optimal solution. What is it optimal? This point dependent on client needs. If our client need as fast as possible, this is one approach to build the project. If our client need as cheap as possible, this is other approach. Of course, in the real world, it's a little bit harder. The client have limits, borders, and some critical points. We include all these details and build optimal plan. First, this is ubiquitous language. We try to write a clear code. Like our internal opinion, the code should be readable with our documentation. Because if we write a code and we need to write documentation which will help us to read this code, this is twice job first point, and the second point, more important than first, then code will be changed, documentation will not be changed, and this documentation will create problem, not help. Very important, for it, use enough value terms. We take from ubiquitous language business terms which fully understandable in our project and put it into the code like it is. Of course, use a style guide of technology. We write a detailed ubiquitous language for each domain. Domain which is part of project, like the boundary context of some stage in project. For example, it can be like the financial department, human resources department, if we write something like the ERP software. Second point, which is researchers. As usually, we can't just take library like it is, because we, as usually, work with medium and big project, and in this project, we found something new, something which should be researched. For example, integration with some third party. which we will implement in first time because this first party is new, or implement some huge algorithm or some huge technical implementation. Before we start work, before we provide estimation, we discuss how we can implement it, get information, try to make proof of concept. This is in this step in researches. Based on ubiquitous language and researches, we make domain separation. We really want to make scalable software and flexible software. For achieving these goals, we try to fight with complexity. The main source of complexity, it's a volume of application. So we split our application to layers and to domains. Domains map show which domain we use and how this domain will communicate with each other, what set of layers will included in each domain. Architecture requirements. This is high-level goals to how we will write code. Of course, the main goal, this is implement functional and non-functional requirements. But what is more important for us? Speed of development, like the writing code, or maybe speed of debugging, or maybe fixability, or maybe ability to fast add changes by business reason. All this point will be in goal, and based to this goal, we write as a principle how we do, and rules how we can do. And the last one, this is optimal technical stack. We found enough tool which help us to achieve our goals. In architecture phase, we also write a set of diagram, logical topology, how processes in logical level communicate with each other and where they're located, and physical topology. This is this diagram, how we can implement DevOps and in what type of machine and why and where we'll be running each services, each server, who will manage the server, for example, AWS persistent, and how will we work with third-party integration. Last one, this is estimation and risk. We write a similar table. In this table, we write a set of tasks and set of roles. We calculate in hours for each role. We try to make a really good decomposition, as usually some parts of work will take less than today, so less than 16 hours. Of course, some important and critical point can take more, so we understand what it will take us time. We don't only provide estimation, we also work with risks. So we understand business risks, we understand technical risks. One of example of technical risks, if we work with third party, we should understand what we should do if our third party change API. Or for example, what we should do if our cloud provider, like the AWS, will shut down, how we processed, what type of uptime we should achieve. For each risks, we try to calculate the value, how this risk can damage project. After that, think about 3 points, how we can work with this risk. First point, this is ignore. For example, we run small eCommerce project, and in case if AWS will stop working, as usually it's less than 1 hour, we will do nothing. Okay, we will lose 1 hour, but this is not so important for such scale of business. Next point, we try to work with these risks. For example, okay, AWS can move into shutdown, but we have a plan. Our DevOps immediately will start working and in 15 minutes we'll run our project in additional node. And the last one, and like the most complex, this is prevent the risk. In such cases, we from start run not 1 node, but 3 node in different AWS regions. And even in case if one region will shut down, our system, like the mirror, work in 2 other regions, and client will not feel the difference. So let's like the example. I think this is all. Please ask a question and we will answer. I will open the chat. 1 second. Guys, you can write the question in chat or ask it into the voice.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, thanks a lot for your time. If nobody have any question, I think we are all. Thanks for your opinion and for your time.
Thank you,
thanks,
too.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you for your attention. The next step is Kateryna Belova will be talking about the definitive strategy to find a reliable software development partner for your business. So I think we could start earlier because we have a lot of time, and then we will make a networking session. You will have 30 seconds to introduce you or your company if you want. So Kateryna, are you ready to start?
Yes, I will just start the screen sharing right now.
Okay, thank you.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we see.
Yes, it's good.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, hi everyone. Hi again for those who met me in the first session room. For those who see me for the first time today, my name is Kateryna Belova. I am a VP of Digital Transformation and Computools. Yeah, thank you so much for coming and visiting us today. The topic for next topic will be basically the definitive strategy to find a reliable software development partner for your business. As you might know, or perhaps you do not know, we are the company from Ukraine. So that's why I will be talking about specific features of working with Ukrainian developers, what points should be considered and what to look for. Well, growing a successful business without smart digital solutions is difficult these days. And this is why finding a reliable software development partner for a long-term cooperation is crucial to every small company or big enterprise. The most common challenges in finding a software development partner are the following. So the first reason is the relevant technical expertise. There are lots of business players in the IT market nowadays, and to detect a good IT partner that can cater to your business needs and high-level goals, you should carefully examine their area of competence and make sure it is like the best fit for your project objectives. Second of all, assessing software development skills. So let's say if you are not in the IT field, it could be a hard adventure to check candidates' coding skills and test them in order to choose the best one. And last but not least, understanding the market. So finding a software development partner first just requires learning tech trends that are shaping your niche market and forming an opinion of what digital solutions are best suits for your business. Talking about an outsourcing partnership model, it gives you many advantages to business that seek cost-effective solutions. In particular, finding an IT partner in tech-growing regions like Eastern Europe will benefit every company that looks for high-quality software development services at a reasonable price. So, yeah, why Ukraine? Let's talk about this in deep. Ukraine is a just quickly developing tech region that has in home to over 400 tech firms, including over 4,000 tech firms, including 1,400 IT outsourcing companies. It's popular destination for European enterprises of any size that expect to get the full benefit of an outsourcing partnership. And the first benefit is the high quality of work. With over 190,000 specialists, the Ukrainian IT market is among the fastest growing regions in the world. Cost efficiency, so the Dach companies can save up to 60% of expenses when collaborating with Ukrainian IT partners. Also, we can talk about geographic proximity. So we have only 1 hour time difference between Ukraine and Dach region, which is convenient for real collaboration. Also, Western business approach. So Ukrainian IT companies embrace Western business culture, work ethics, and use English as a primary language for communication, which is very important. The last advantage I would talk about is absence of legal restrictions. So it's easy to start a partnership with Ukrainian professionals, as there are no major legal restrictions facing foreign businesses. What to expect from the Ukrainian mentality? This is not so easy to find on maybe internet unless you have this personal experience of working with Ukrainian developers. And since I hope you're interested in Ukraine as your potential region to outsource your development needs, I think it's critical to understand our mentality, and not only as peoplehood or nation, but specifically what to expect from Ukrainian people who are just directly engaged with the implementation of digital products. And here are the distinctive features of Ukrainian software developers. So I would talk about advantages and disadvantages as well. And for sure, we will start with the first point, inventiveness and adaptivity. So for the latest couple of centuries, changes and various type of stress fell on destinies of Ukraine. So wars, suppressions, shift of the forms of governments, revolutions, and whatnot. So Ukrainians used to all of this through multiple generations, and seeing some new crisis is something that feels like, okay, no drama. And this is why only inventiveness and adaptivity help to live through the chaos. And the same is applied to software development. In the situation, if the situation requires a quick and not a trivial solution, we will make it happen, and the customer usually highly appreciates out of the box thinking. Reserve, often coin, here is the workarounds. Due to this flexibility and imagination, it's quite typical for Ukrainian developers to resort to various temporary and not stable solutions, different patches and hot fixes. More often, this can be seen in the freelancers activity, thought with the strong technical management in our company, for example, where steady codes reviews are made by our tech leads and overall technical culture is high. This drawback is taken under control. Education and intelligence, this is our next advantage. That's true that higher education is very affordable and for a good quality, and Ukrainian intellectuals make positive impressions on their foreign colleagues. On other side of the medal, there is arrogance. So arrogance is fairly widespread among Ukrainians, especially among men, in situations where software engineers feel their superiority over colleagues or an opponent, for example, on an interview, it's common to show this dominance in pretty straightforward manner. On the other hand, we can think quick, and ability to think fast is a must have to survive in frequently changing conditions. According to various customers and experts, Ukrainians tend to make decisions quickly and see a lot of short-term possibilities around. So let's take a look at the other side of the coin. And here we have orientation to long-term planning and long-standing goals are just far away from Ukrainians' distinctive features. And that means allow just tolerance for risks and avoidance of uncertainty. That's why it's getting clear why it's too hard to provoke interest for stock options with 5 years profitability, for example. I would say that many Ukrainian families during the last 100 years lost everything at least 3 times. And this is why there is a strong desire to gain maximum value and profit in a short-term period. Our hard skills. To be honest, this is what we are proud of. Ukrainian developers possess great knowledge and technical hand-on skills and are among the elites of engineering teams. When the tasks are clearly set, our guys demonstrate perfect abilities in solving the challenging problems. The drawback here is definitely the soft skills that are naturally neglected. This can be called a linchpin of Ukrainians as software developers. Quite often you may see Ukrainian developers to behave too straightforwardly or through talking, and they expect the same behavior from others. Also, they may underestimate the sales aspects and treat sales abilities with negative connotation, but we all know that sales skills in selling products, services, or ideas are the firm basement in any success. Transparency. It's a quite natural case where a developer asks many questions if something is not clear. Sometimes it might be irritating, but this is why this is the way the chances of getting a feature done incorrectly just is fairly low. For example, I worked with various companies and teams around the world, and what I saw with other guys was constant, other guys from other countries, constant confirmation that everything was clear and under table. But in fact, on the demo, I got completely different results from what was communicated and expected. In Ukraine, we honestly say when something is not clear and dig deeper to see the bigger picture. As a continuation of this point, I think you already see it in action because it's unusual to talk about somebody's drawbacks honestly, but we think it's fair to admit that and know how to overcome it. And in Computools, we just cover technical solutions with well-established system of code reviews made by seasoned tech leads and follow the best practices of coding, such solid, dry, don't repeat yourself, KISS, keep it short and simple, and others. Soft skills are constantly improved by individual meetings between each developer and a human resources specialist who just maps out an individual plan of progress to improve specific sides of soft skills to enable them to grow constantly. Computools' priority is basically to deliver the full cycle software development to its clients and offer quality support from start till finish of the software project. And partnering with Computools is risk-free and transparent, as the client is able to control the project development process and also guide the engineering team in the right direction. So we offer a number of advantages that allow building a digital product in the most optimal way. So let's talk about them step by step. First is the cost savings. So outsourcing IT services is often a budget conscious decision that allows recruiting the best tech talents in just one place instead of hiring every single specialist individually. Faster time to market. You just get a team of experienced professionals at your disposal, and you can expect to get a quick and highly quality result, as they have enough tech experience to show as satisfactory results on the first try. Management options. It's possible to just monitor the project's progress and get in touch with the team members at all levels, just anytime. Also, employee expertise. Well, by hiring an outsourcing company, you gain access to a pool of technical talent. So you just not buy a person, but expertise in our case. Staff turnover. IT outsourcing companies usually have plenty of specialists that replace each other and to maintain the continuity of project development. And the last advantage is some flexibility. So the outsourcing model also implies that the team has flexible working hours and can change their workload depending on your business needs, your time zone, and your requests. So let's move forward to our second part, how to get effective project management and satisfactory results, the main stages for productive long-lasting collaboration. Win-win collaborations start from the right choice of an IT partner, right? So their best software development partner is always on the same page with you. You can generally count on your collaboration and harness the same approach to business development and project management, which just leads the excellent outcomes. Yeah, so the most successful collaborations are also results of shared business values. And here are the fundamentals, a few, not only, not every of the Dach business culture we faced. So it's a non-hierarchical structure. It's vital to find a responsible person that is in charge of one or another process that needs a solution, rather than turning to the manager. Also, great openness and freedom of thought and expression. So every participant in the project has the right to have their own standpoint on any issue or task. Teamwork, every option is taken in consideration at any stage of the project development, and slow and backup decisions. The manager instructs the team and takes part in the work, focusing on resources, time, and budget. Yeah, and also wherever decision is made, it should be fully checked and analyzed before its implementation. Yeah, in recent years, Computools has successfully collaborated with the Dach companies and built a mutually beneficial integration model that takes into account all important aspects, needs, and requirements to achieve business goals. So this 4-step cooperation algorithm is based on our extreme competence and experience, and ensures just high efficiency, flexibility, and transparency. And I will talk about each step in the next slide. So we start with planning. Yeah, at this stage, we strive to collect as much information as possible, paying special attention to scope, time, costs, quality, communication, risks, and stakeholder management. This allows us to stay at the same page with the client and just synchronize the vision. The key point is to build the correct logic to work on the project consistently and in a structured manner. To get started, the team does not need just a lot of documentation or a list of strict requirements. All we need is an idea, your vision, and participation in the visualization of the upcoming functionalities. A deep understanding of the customer's needs and the collected data backed by the engineering experts' knowledge are a good just basis for starting a project. One of the methodologies followed by Computools is Agile, which helps us gradually implement the main idea by dividing the process into 2-week sprints, and the planning phase is repeated in the beginning of each sprint. This helps us to prioritize and just validate tasks on time. And if, for example, requirements and needs have shifted, changes can be included in the new sprint before it starts, so the development would be carried out taking into account new data. Step number 2 is development itself. The development process is just flexible and transparent. Computools reports on the work done according to the arranged schedule and provides access to the task board. So this allows the client to monitor and have just access to project information wherever he or she needed. This makes us open, and you'll never have to question where you are at or what's happening in the development process. Regular updates to tickets ensure just timely information. Step number 3 is testing and demonstration. So systematic testing and demonstration at the end of each sprint help to detect bugs and fix them, make changes, evaluate the functionality of feature software, and make sure that the work on the project is processing accordingly to the schedule agreed before. This strongly helps when we just have a general idea about the feature. And at this stage, we can discuss, add or remove options, test their convenience and usefulness. It allows to reduce development time and improve the quality of the finished product. And step number 4 is support and maintenance. So the work on the project does not really end with the final release and launch. So Computools team provides also support and maintenance for a few days or even more after deployment, if it's required by the client, of course. We allocate a dedicated team in case errors and failures would be just detected in the user environment. So our task here is to make sure that the software runs smoothly and stably, provide just quick assistance in solving any problem or challenge, check the load, debug the product, etc. And we also can add some improvements to make the software even better for user requirements. You probably would be also interested about some references. So here's one of one of the references our previous client gave us. If you would like to review more, you can just scan this QR code. So to follow the link with testimonials and recommendation letters. From my side, I can say that we built not only good relationships, but became opinion leads for our clients, advisor, and more importantly, friends. So yeah, if you would like to join us and discuss your business requirements, your business idea, just drop an email, or you can visit our website and fill out the form there. Here are also my personal contact details and a QR code to scan my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, we'll be more than happy to see you in my network. And Alex, we do have also time for the questions, right?